In my experience, the directors have opted to either write the dialogues themselves, as Kunal did in Fanaa, or Hindi dialogues, or have a co-writer, like for Kank or for Fanaa. So it's sort of been a mixed kind of process for me. Although I would of course prefer to write my own Hindi dialogues, which hopefully I will do in the near future, because sometimes what happens is, despite best intentions, the meaning, and the implied subtext is sort of lost in translation. For a couple of reasons. Either the other writer has not quite grasped it, or the other reason may be that sometimes the Hindi dialogue writer's task and a job is rather tough, because they come in so late in the process, right? And if you're supposed to translate or transduce what has already been put in English, then how do you prove that you really did something? So there's an instinct, it's just a normal instinct, to want to actually add things to show that, okay, this is the work that I did, But that's not always to the betterment of what the script is. So it's a sort of a give and take kind of process. And yes, it's obviously better if you're able to do, or allowed to do, both the English or just straight off the Hindi dialogue. As long as it's done officially. It's what's not nice, because you imagine the shoe on the other foot. That if you have come up with something and someone wants to, remake that film and does not take the rights and does not give you credit, it's not very nice. But there's no problem with remakes, because sometimes a story has the potential to actually, offer up something new given a different cultural context or a different language. And it works just fine. The best example is Seven Samurai and Magnificent Seven. Going from a Japanese Kurosawa kind of a treatment into a full-on Western American Hollywood treatment. But both films are great in their own regard, and very entertaining. So yeah, there's definitely a case for remakes. But not everything is a remake. It doesn't have a potential for being a remake just because you feel, this has got emotion or this has got humor, therefore it'll be fine for the Indian audience. I think it needs a little more than that. To offer up something new and interesting, when it's taken into another culture. So yeah. He said, should actors be chosen to suit the character, or the characters written to suit the actors? That's a good question. It really depends, actually. Ordinarily, for normal human beings, you write the character and then put, hope like hell that the actor, will decide to say yes. And then for people who have good connections with actors or whatever, or have already decided who their cast are, you already have an actor and you're actually writing a character to suit the actor. So it happens both ways. I personally prefer to write the character and have the actor suit the character, because your character is the one that is propelling your story forward. And it's a character-driven film in which the characters are really the crux of everything, or it's plot-driven, but still it's that character that makes that plot interesting. So it's much better to be honest and truthful to that character versus then just adjust it any which way because of the actor. But that's an ideal situation, and sometimes that's not how it works. But there are advantages I have found recently in the other way around as well. You have to work to your advantage. Like for Khan, it was always going to be Shah Rukh in the role, because it was Karan's film and that was already pre-decided. So what I was able to do is to actually create traits within his Asperger's to take away the regular Shah Rukh that we see every day on a regular basis in his films. So because it's his trademark, his looking into a woman's eyes, is trademark. His crying is trademark. I actually accentuated those traits of Asperger's that actually did away with all that, which meant that he could not, or nobody could expect, neither could Karan expect him, none of us could expect him to occupy the usual role that he does. He had to go into different areas and try different things, because he wasn't allowed to do the things that he usually does through the character. So that way I was able to actually use the character in a way to allow him as well, almost a freedom, of actually doing something completely out of the box. So you can actually work it to your advantage, it works both ways essentially. But more often than not, you'll find that you'll be writing characters and then actors will be cast later.